Hey, welcome back to Good Knit Kisses. I'm your host, Kristen, and today I am on my missions trip that I have been talking about for so long. And I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's kind of late, so I have no idea if you're up. Hopefully you are. If you're on the other side of the world, you probably are up and it's probably morning. It's late right now. What time is it, girl? We got late. If you ever see Robin Riffick on my broadcast, hop on. She is here in the room with me, and she is not on camera. We've had a very long day. If you can tell, my eyeballs are a little sleepy. So what did you say? It was 10:15 p.m. So I hope you guys are doing well tonight. It is Friday evening or Saturday morning for some people. Hey, Christine, she is hopping on. I'm so glad you're here. Kind of doing the vertical video thing today so I can read more of them. But what happens is then I start reading your comments and it looks like I'm looking way down. I'm not looking at my camera, so I'm a little like, whoa. So you guys ask me questions. Please tell me where you're from. This is your first time joining me, welcome. It's not a knit or crochet or loom knit time. This is just me on my mission trip, honestly. So anyway, hey, I want to say hi for a few people here that hopped on. Christine, Lisa, Mona, Susan, Lonnie, Linda, Cheryl, Connie Sue, and Myra in Mexico. I think Myra's in Mexico. So welcome you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I am on the Pink Missions trip, and I'm calling it Pink Missions because I go to Gateway Church, and our women's ministry used to be called Pink, and so I did a hashtag. I know, for like you millennial peeps, y'all are like, hashtag. I'm not a millennial. I just pretend to be one on TV. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I did a hashtag Pink Missions, and then everybody was donating shawls and scarves, and I have 74 scarves and shawls that had got donated. And I'm going to be working up notes for all you lovely people who sent them. Wonderful, wonderful. So, mwah. And I'm going to update you, like sending notes after the fact, because I wanted to experience the weekend first and tell you kind of how it went. And so we got here this morning, and we got here like just before lunch time. And so we went and had some lunch, and then got to go straight over and start meeting people and learn more about the place that we were at. And then we actually got to talk to the director of everything, and then one who heads over several different, what do they call those? Different programs. She heads over the different programs. And then we actually talked to a woman who was in the sex industry. She was in the industry and had kind of seen it all. And so we got to hear from her, and she'd been in the program for about 6 months. And so we're going to see her more tomorrow. So I'm going to say hi. I just want to kind of give you all that update and then kind of go back in here and say hellos again. And Myra, she said it's Mayra, and she's from Puerto Rico. That's right. Hey, Mildred's from Puerto Rico too. Hey, Cheryl, Louisiana. And we are in Louisiana. We are in Shreveport. So I'm sorry, my camera is hopping around. It must be a vibration on this table I'm using. So sorry if it's a little wonky. Myra, she says she stays in Indiana. That's funny. Yes, we got here safe, Susan. I don't know if they said that there was a shooter on the highway or something, and we all kind of stopped what we were doing today and prayed about that. I'm not really sure what was going on, if it's in national news or any kind of thing, but I'm looking over here because Robin is over here. She's my roommate, and if you ever see Robin Riffick hopping on to my broadcasts and commenting or anything, she is actually in my local knit and crochet group that I actually host at my house, and we go to the same church, and she's actually with me, and it's our first mission trip, and we got to be roomies. So very exciting. So, anyway, yeah. So we are in Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah, that's where we are, but we are safe, and I'm not really disclosing where we are or where we are going, and the different places we're going. But we will be ministering to people. Like, I'm not saying specific things, but I'll tell you a little bit about our schedule. So, Hey, Chris in Sacramento. So, and Marcia in New York. Did I say that already? I'm tired. It's been a long day. I got so excited. I woke up about 3 or so and I couldn't go back to bed. And, I started kind of working on some videos and then going and praying and then working on stuff and then getting my house ready. And then I'm blocking an item right now and trying to get that thing fixed. And anyway, just a ton of stuff this morning. And so I've been up for quite a while. So yeah. Hey, Linda, thanks. I'm glad we got here safe too. Oh, Chris, you're knitting the mystery blanket along with me. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for week 3 next week. So are you reading my blog, Chris? You'll have to tell me how you like it. If y'all read my blog, be sure and hit the heart button if you like it. Right now, for some reason, I've got my commenting turned off, but you can hit the little heart on there if you like it. On the actual blog, like if you go to the blog website, if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a little thing and you can hit a little heart button and tell me if you like it. So yeah, I'm glad we got here safe. We were in 2 like big 15 passenger vans and we were loaded up because we had a ton of stuff that we were giving people. In fact, I still have all the scarves and shawls. If you're just tuning in, we got 74 scarves and shawls that were donated. I also brought like 2 bags of yarn from my stash. And then I have another bag that's got like 4 zippy looms and 4 corners. And then, like extra hooks and, tapestry needles. And then also some nifty knitter looms that I'm going to leave with them. Oh, Robin joined in on the chat. I see her joining in. She hasn't said anything yet, but I can see her because we're friends. I see you. She's giggling over there. She's over in the corner. Sabotage me. Anyway, okay, so our schedule. Do y'all want to know about our schedule or do you have any questions, first of all, if you want to know more about what we're doing? We got to hear more about kind of how their process works and some of the different ministries that they have, but it was a lot of information. I actually, just so I could listen to it again, I actually recorded some of the portions that we listened to today, so I can kind of go back through and kind of remember like what they do, like the logistics of what they did. So this is our schedule. We're gonna go. Obviously I'm not gonna say where we're going, but we were gonna go and visit incarcerated women who were soliciting prostitution, and they currently are not accepting visitors right now probably because someone got into a fight. So kind of everybody suffers. So we're not able to actually do that, but we did get to write letters tonight. One of the things we did is we made bags for this other thing I'll tell you about, and then we made some other little goodie bags for, they have a ministry to stripper clubs. We're not actually going to strip clubs, but it's part of the whole sex industry, and everything kind of is all encompassing. You find that a lot of these are connected, and but we made goodie bags for them. And then what else? I lost my train of thought. So we were going to go see Incarcerated for Prostitution. Oh, we wrote letters. We had like a list of ladies who were incarcerated, and so that means they're in prison, and they love to get mail, and so we had their names and then like their little number and everything, and we all like divide up the list, and every woman is getting at least 5 note cards, like it has a front and back thing, and even has a hotline for them to call if they want to choose to get out. Really, really cool program if they are in for solicitation. Can I tell this? I can probably tell this. They work very closely with the DA, and they actually have a program where, I forget what it's called, but basically the DA gives them a choice, and they can choose to have their sentence and stay incarcerated, or they can choose a 6-month program where they go into this program, and they have to stay in this house. They have to follow the certain rules. They get free health care. They get taken care of. Any need that they have gets met. They get to stay there for free. And they go through all these classes and programs and stuff to help get themselves healthy and get themselves educated and be able to go out into regular workforce. And so it's a pretty incredible program, and they can choose to stay in it after 6 months, or they can choose to do whatever they decide to do. So, and then they have other programs as well. So the other things that they, oh, hi Pam, I'm sorry, you have to go to bed. Okay. She just jumped on for a second. So, oh, thanks you all. Yes, whatever I can say to safety to tell. Thank you. Yes, thanks, Christine. Sorry, I'm fumbling all my words. Apparently, I'm more tired than I let on. We are, okay, so we were going to go see Incarcerated, and tomorrow would have been like when we were seeing them, but they were also going to go to a local, like hourly motel that's known for soliciting prostitution. Like if you go to this hotel, it's known for, that's why you're going. And so we're going to be taking like goodie bags and just letting them know that like, hey, I think we're going to get a better rundown tomorrow because I'm going to forget what to say. But basically we're just knocking on their door. We don't go inside, but we knock on their door and, tell them hello and, talk to a girl that's in there, have her come out and basically just say hello and say, we have something for them, and let them know that we're here for them, and that they, if they want to come, or if they want to talk to anyone, if I can talk to them or, pray with them, anything, whatever they need, let them have them, what was it? Say, if there's anything you need, let me know. And then they can actually choose to not talk to me. They can choose to, they can say something back. They can grunt back, walk away. They can say, hey, I actually want to leave. I want out of this. And they are prepared, and I will be prepared to take them with us and take them to a safe place and get them the help that they need. And they're in the goodie bag. There's also like a note or whatever with a safe number that they can call. We also got to, this is called, let me see if I can find the website. I have the website. It's called Purchase, but it's part of the Hub Ministries. I don't know. It's in Shreveport. Anyway, I've got a link on one of my videos, so I'll have to come back and put it in the comments here. And so I'll try and reply to your comment, but I'll put it in the main comments. So anyway, but this ministry, of course, I can't disclose where the location is. I think they're moving their offices right now. But it's part of like a main ministry. And then they have like there's a homeless and poverty-stricken ministry. And then they also have this ministry called Purchased. And I know it's kind of an odd name if you don't understand, but you can go to the site and then you'll understand more. And you get to actually see a video of ladies who have come out of the sex industry, and some that have been trafficked or come out of the sex industry, whatever that encompass. And they go in and they really were talking to us a lot about that and telling us their story today. What else? So yeah, it's just really awesome. I can't even say all the awesome things about it, truly, because my brain is on overload, and of course I'm tired, but she's like, oh, we're talking too much. And like, oh, we're probably saying too much. We're overwhelming you, you all, and all of us, there's 19 of us. And we were like, no, tell us more. We were just like listening and just like, we're ready to help, whatever. Oh, the other thing that we did, should I talk about that? No, I shouldn't talk about that. Back page.
Yeah, it exists.
Okay, so if you don't know, there's a website that it's like kind of a backdoor sort of thing. Like this website that you go to, and you're going there to basically find solicitation in your area and for escorts. And so they actually have a number. And let's take a Google Voice number, and they had us go on there and find women. And she was strategic about she could tell if it was a pimp or if it was like an actual person posting their escort service. And so then we texted them this thing about like, hey, we're here to help. Oh, what can I see the thing that I texted you? I can tell you the message that they had us send. And this tells you a lot about what they do, because they're not preaching at these people. They're just coming alongside them to help them. And this is what they say. Hi, your name. I'm from a support group for women in the industry, and I'm contacting you to let you know about the devices we offer. Is it devices? Services we offer. We provide free medical care, GED classes, counseling, and much more. Please contact us if you'd like to know more, or if you want to help get out of the sex, if you want help to get out of the sex industry. You are truly loved, and we hope to hear from you soon. So that is what they say, and that's what we're supposed to say to anybody. I've got to memorize that. But that's not preachy, right? That's just coming alongside people. So it's just an amazing, awesome ministry and outreach. And yeah, purchased by the blood. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I'm glad you understand. So I'm excited. I'm excited about tomorrow. So we go in the morning to give them these, for lack of a better term, they call them a prostitute bag, and they give them these prostitute bags. And Robin, we had toothbrushes and toothpaste. We had like toiletries, pads, underwear, socks, big shampoo and conditioner, little shampoo and conditioners, like a big tube of toothpaste, and then like a travel size with like one of those little zippy pouches, and floss, and all kinds of stuff. I forget what else, but it was like a nice big bag, and then it has like their number. And then the other packets that we put together, I'm not sure what all was in there, because Robin and I were writing our little notes with that. It just said support group, and then it had a little number. It was like a trick or treat kind of bag, and you tie it on, but inside was like little goodies. And then there's a group of like women who go to strip clubs, and they call it their strip club ministry. And they just go and say, hey girls, and just go and, hey, we have stuff for you. And we help support ladies who are in the sex industry. And we learned something tonight. They have actually had a transgender that they've worked with. So they've actually done that already and been able, and actually two now that they've been working with. So one was underage, I think. Yeah, one was underage. They were rescued. And then the other one was an adult. And so they had two transgenders. And it's been amazing, actually, amazing experience. Really, really good. So the industry is not, the sex industry is not legal. Like, as far as, you're asking if it's legal. Strip clubs are legal. They're legal in many areas. But prostitution is not legal. And solicitation by escort service and all that is not legal. But it happens. And trafficking, human trafficking, stealing someone or using someone, and they get money for sex, but you're their pimp or whatever, or the person who owns them, and having money for something, that is not legal. But it happens under your nose. It happens every day and everywhere. And they said that like the victims have ranged anywhere from, 15, 16, 17 up to 55. They have seen an 11. We asked them how young they had seen. They said that they had seen an 11-year-old girl come through. They've had like one boy, and this this nonprofit, the ministry that they're doing, is only how long did they say this thing's been going? For 9 years, then 5 years later. So this has been 4 years. So this is a 4-year-old ministry here. And honestly, the way they were talking about it, they actually go to classes like 3 days a week from 12 to 5. In the morning, they're all in counseling sessions. And then these afternoon classes, they actually learn and study all kinds of things. And then they also can go to other classes and like get their GED and other things. And then like they can have opportunities to go get a job. When they get out of this, they help them with like their first few months rent and their deposit. Just amazing. And they have free health care and taking care of. It's just amazing. So now the transgender, Myra, that it was in this program, they were being trafficked or were soliciting prostitution. The older transgender, she was incarcerated for prostitution, and they met them through the program through the local jail. We did ask if they were in with male or female prisoners. It was actually, they were in a male prison, but they were separate and actually had a bodyguard, right? And then, so all the females are obviously in a female prison or correctional facility. The reason, Chris, that we're in this particular location is because our church was working with, now I don't know how they're contacted or whatever. I just know that our church was working with and planned this mission trip out. And so they had decided that this mission, these people, this group of people was worth us investing our time on and sending our people out to support them. And so,
and this isn't the
and
first group.
and this isn't what?
Or it isn't the first group.
Oh yeah. And we're not the first group to come to this place. Apparently our church has been here before. I'm just the first. I mean, I think from one of our other campuses, we have multiple campuses. So I go to Gateway Church. We go to Gateway Church, our members. And anyway, so Shreveport, Louisiana is not too far from our part of Texas. And so it's kind of like our backyard, truly. So when we were helping with this solicitation page, like one of our little assignments was, it's just kind of seed planting. Like what we did is we texted the numbers with a Google Voice specific number that they have access to later. We sent them messages, and then one of the phone numbers had the same area code as our area, like in Dallas. It had the Dallas area code. And my jaw, like, I'm like, oh, I mean, I knew it, and they had already had their whole talks with us about how it happens, but anyway, you just have no idea. So, yeah, it's all crazy and sad, you know. And the best part is the people who were talking. The lady who she's sitting there telling us all this stuff, and she's like, by the way, we're not doing our job if you leave here like feeling really run down and just depressed and just like heavy, because we want to keep it light here because we deal with really heavy stuff, and so we like to keep it light. We joke around a lot. We may even be inappropriate when we joke around. You're going to hear all kinds of things here. But the thing is, you know, we receive counseling so that we're always good, because, you know, you can't, if you pour out yourself all the time and you don't get filled back up and feel good, then you're going to get worn out and run down and quit and stop helping people, right? Or not helping them in the right way, and you're not doing it from your heart. You're doing it because you have to. So we want to do things from our heart, not because of the have to. Now, they didn't say that. I'm saying it that way, but her story was really interesting. She actually, this is one person who's over several of the programs, and her story was that she is a product of the industry. She was a child that came out of her mother in the sex industry. They use the term sex industry as a whole because it covers anyone who's like in a strip club, who's in pornographic films or print, who is soliciting online or in person, like prostitution, anyone who is trafficked either underage or against their will, and they're of age, you know, of consent. The age of consent, because they're not consenting, so they're being trafficked. But that all fits in that sex industry. And one of the mind-boggling things is, now some people may know this, but not everyone. People treat like the strip club different. In your mind, people are like, oh, you know, our heart just goes out to people who are trafficked because they're taken against their will, and you know, that kind of stuff. But you know, if you're stripping or you're prostituting, you know, you're choosing that life. You're choosing that, you know, maybe if someone has a pimp, maybe they're forcing them, but you know, you're choosing to be in a strip club. But it's not always the case. That's not always the thing. And many times these women, girls, you know, are doing that because they have no choice. Most of them have experienced some sort of trauma, sexual trauma, some kind of violation. They may, and then they also may get into drugs. There's all kinds of things that go hand in hand. So it's not what your typical is. I knew a couple of people who stripped through college to get somewhere, and then it became like this habit. I also know someone who was stripping, who she got pregnant because she got pregnant early at 16. She thought, well, this is the only way I can make money, and so then she became an exotic dancer, and that's really what she was doing, was stripping. And when it came to her being solicited to be in films, that's when she called it quits, and someone basically kind of rescued her from that life, and she was in California at the time. So anyway, so everybody has their own story, and so you don't make an assumption about that. But it's just mind-blowing. Yeah, Chris, it totally is. Yeah, Chris says, oh, you have to keep it light because it can drag you down. Yeah, outreach is tough. It is awful that women are used this way. Women and children, including, some young boys, but it's primarily females. Of course, it could be a transgender. A lot of times, people are abused as a child, and then they just turn to this lifestyle because there is no other choice. So we got to hear from a lady, I guess I can say her name, Jackie, and she has been all over every major city is how she described it. And she has been, she's been trafficked. She's had a pimp, multiple pimps. She's been shot one time through the back of the head. She's been shot twice in 2 different instances by clients. She's had all kinds of things happen to her. She had a baby, her first son by her pimp, and now lives with her parents. And then she is actually pregnant right now, and found out she was pregnant right before or right after being incarcerated. And then while she's incarcerated, someone decided to someone who was sharing her cell with her cellmate decided to share the Bible with her. She's like, you need to hear the Bible. And she's like, oh, I don't need that. She's like, I'm from California, and I don't need that kind of stuff. Anyway, it's a longer story than this, but I'm summing it up. And she's like, well, you're going to hear this. You have to read it. So she was like a literal captive audience. And she's like, I never really knew about Jesus. And so she started hearing this. And then she just really felt that she wanted to get out. She was done. She found out she was having a baby. And she's like, there's no way, And several times she had gotten out of the industry. But it's really hard. You get sucked back in because you're making $1,000 a night, $500 or $1,000 a night, and then you go and try and work at Taco Bell or Jack in the Box, as she described it, and you're making like $500 every 2 weeks. It's astronomical if you're trying to get out of that industry. And a lot of times, like if you're being trafficked or you've got a pimp in some other city, you may be against your will in some other city, and you don't know anybody. You have no resources. Your pimp holds all your money. And so just learning about all this stuff is just like, it's just not my reality. Like, it is reality. It's just not in my norm. And so me talking about this, even like, I'm just sitting here talking about this. I'm like, wow, I'm really having this conversation on Good Night Kisses. Like, it's overwhelming. But anyway, God bless the cellmate. Yeah, that's right, Chris. So she brought that up. Well, one of the ladies, trying to remember the full story, Robin, but one of the ladies had, from the ministry, wrote to her, right?
Yes.
She wrote to her, and she's like, I'm ready to get out or something. And then like, she said, basically she got notified. She's like, hey, she got a phone call. She got a phone call. And she said something. She's like, yeah, I'm ready to get out. And she goes, yeah. She's like, we'll be there in 3 hours, like, to pick her up. And she's like, well, what about my my court date? What about this? What about that? What about that? And she's like, everything's taken care of. There is no fee. There is no court date. You are all taken care of. I will be there in 3 hours to come get you. And Jackie, the one who was arrested for prostitution, for solicitation. She's actually arrested not for solicitation. She was arrested for, what's it called? There's like a word for it, but she was arrested for whatever the word is for if you are a prostitute and you're trying to pandering. She's arrested for pandering, and that's when you're trying to get someone else to prostitute. So basically, it'd be like me trying to talk Robin into like, hey, you should do what I do because you can make some good money, and you got to go see this guy over here. And so anyway, because she had that conversation with her cellmate, she's like, I felt like a peace. She's like, I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know any of this churchy stuff. I didn't know all that stuff. She's like, I just felt like this was what I'm supposed to do. And I felt really good about it. When she told me 3 hours, she's like, I gave up my commissary money. I gave up, she said, I gave up, Roman noodles. She gave up her noodles. She goes, I gave up my noodles. I gave up my this and that, and she's like, I just knew that it was all going to be fine. And I wasn't worried about my baby anymore. I wasn't worried about any of that. They took care of all her medical and are taking care of her medical. She just really, sorry, I feel like I'm yelling. That AC unit went off, and I'm like, rah. But anyway, I can't even talk. There's just so much to say, but it was just absolutely incredible. After we went there, we all came back to the hotel, kind of threw our stuff in the rooms, and then left again and had dinner. And then we just came back from dinner, and we got to meet another person tonight. And she's like she hosts a home. She hosts one of the homes. The ladies who are coming out of being trafficked, they've got a couple of homes, and they have up to 4 women in each home. They stay there for free. The houses, I think they're paid for. Yeah. And they just had their big fundraising event this year, but I know that they need to do some more, because she shared with us some of the numbers to like how much it costs to upkeep on the house, how much it, like they got groceries, they got all kinds of stuff. And then how much it cost, how much they got paid back for their dinner that they hosted for fundraising, and then some of their other fundraising stuff that had come in. And anyway, so if you want to give, there's a link that I'll put in here, and when you go click on it, if you're interested, you can go down below and click. I mean, if you can get like $10 or $15, I mean, whatever you want to do. If you want to save yourself on some yarn, say, you know what, I'm going to, I'm going to do myself a yarn diet. I'm not going to buy any more yarn. Okay, maybe after, I love yarn day tomorrow, but anyway. But maybe if you want to say, I'm going to give part of my small budget, $5, $1, whatever you can do. If you want to do that, this is not a drive for your money, but I'm just saying, if you feel led to do that, then go ahead and give, because they always need something. I don't get anything from this. I'm just telling you about it because it's amazing. So, anyway, oh, Nancy, I am so sorry. Your brother-in-law just died tonight. You're welcome for the inspiration. Much love to you. I'm so sorry about your brother-in-law. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, this is really inspiring. It's truly amazing. We were asking them about some of the kids who were rescued. Tonight, they rescued, while we were at dinner, they work with I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but they work with an FBI task force. They actually have them like their cell phone numbers, like they text them, and like they'll come and show up at 3 a.m. and they're like, we have a girl. And so they'll come, they'll be within an hour to receive someone. And, but tonight there was a sting or something, and they picked up 2 more girls, underage girls. Were they 17, did they say? 2 17-year-olds. So if you are a praying person and you want to pray for these 2 17-year-olds. They are not happy that they got picked up for solicitation. And they're basically, because they're trafficked, because they're underage, basically they're like, here's the program. So, anyway, yeah. Yeah, Chris says sacrifice a few skeins. I'm sure a lot of us have stashes that won't suffer. Yeah, and I if you guys can, if you can pray tonight about tomorrow, I would really, truly, truly appreciate it. I know the team would, a couple of things. One is that for safety, when we are at the hotel or motel in the morning, and also for the just a harvest of women, of souls. I'm actually a bit having on my heart to pray for a pimp. I feel like there is a pimp out there who is feeling the guilt, feeling convicted that there are not, like, convicted in the heart. I don't mean like in jail, but that they're doing stuff that they shouldn't be, and really feeling like they need to just turn over women. And I'm really praying. I'm praying for a man's heart right now. Honestly, that's what I'm doing. Nobody told me to do that. I just felt like that's what I need to do. So if anybody wants to join with me and do that, I would truly, truly appreciate it. A third thing, it's a little selfish, I'll have to say, but it's not, because I think it will help them. But Rob and I are going to be giving the shawls and scarves tomorrow at some point, because we're not going to the correctional facility. We've got like this extra amount of time to spend with the girls. I'm really, really hoping that we have a really good moment to obviously like take the moment and really let them like look at them and pick out theirs. But I also want to be able to like teach them and sit down and be like, hey, let me show you this thing. Because I think that knitting, I brought needles, I brought hooks, and I brought looms. And so if we can like just sit and she and I can just work with them, and like teach them something. I don't know how much they'll retain. I'm going to try and keep it simple, but I'm just really hoping that they're going to enjoy themselves and want to keep it up. So if it becomes a thing, actually Kim Novak, she wrote me back, and she's willing to send some looms. I brought some looms that she had, I sort of already donated for her, and she didn't know it. She had sent me like 4 zippy looms, an extra set of corners. And so I brought them with me, and then some nifty knitter looms. And so when I told her about it, I said, oh, I'm on this thing, because we were chatting in email back and forth. So Kim with Knitting Board, she heard about it, and she goes, hey, what can I do? Because I said I was bringing some yarn and everything. And I was like, well, actually, I already like gave some of your stuff, or I'm about to give some of your stuff, so I brought it with me. But she goes, well, when do you get back? And let me know what I can do. And so I'm like, that's great, because if they want more, then what I could do is I could like have her ship it directly to them. So you guys, please say thank you to Knitting Board, because they didn't really do anything, but they did, because I already did it for them. But I knew Kim has a good heart, and I knew that Kim would want to do this. And so just kind of show them a little bit of love. If you want to run on their Facebook page, that's fine. But I'm not here to just call out and say, oh, great, you are, because you're doing this or that. But I'm just saying, just so you know, she said something without me actually asking her. I just told her, hey, I'm bringing some things, So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm blazing through all y'all's comments. You're really chatting, and I love, love, love it. I don't like to sit there for a while and just sit and read, but am I missing something important? I mean, it's all important, but anyway, someone, Myra, she says, oh my gosh, she has a transgender in your family. I love him alive. Yeah, I think, and they didn't know what they were going to do about the transgender issue, like having one, or if like volunteers were going to be like, okay, or whatever. And they said, you know what, we approach something like that, like, we don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to love on this person, because they're still a person and they're still worthy of love. Right. And so, they just took care of it, and they said, he has been amazing. She has been amazing. And I don't know how they identify, so I'm not speaking for them, but, she said it's been a really, really amazing thing. And then they end up having another one who was incarcerated, and who's also a transgender. I just think it's really, really awesome. There's just a very can-do attitude. They all have really unique stories, and it really is. Yeah, thanks, Bridget Marie. I'm seeing some of your comments. I'm just not responding to everything. I'm reading Chris's. It's not most of our reality, but we can't bury our heads in the sand because it's so widespread. We need more folks like you all to minister to these women and get the rest of us out of our comfort zone. And speaking to that, that's so true. The program that they have, I really want to find out more about it because quite honestly, it really could be a national program. And the girl, Jackie, that came up to talk, like they were bragging on her before and they're like, she is super smart. She knows like 3 languages and she's this and this and this and this. And she really has a good head on her shoulders, really, truly. And she actually spoke to, she's like, I wish this was everywhere because it's an amazing program. I really felt cared for and loved. And, she's like, and I'm not all good with that ooey gooey. I'm okay with a handshake. I'm not all good with like the hugs and stuff. And it was really funny because I can actually relate to that because I was sexually abused as a child. And like, it took me a long time to be able to just hug another woman because I was abused by another woman, which is not everyone's story. And that was really hard. So, and then that woman made me with another, like a male. And so it was just, I have a very different story too. And I'm healed from that. But I can share my story and love on other people in a different way. We all have our own individual story. Whether you were hurt or you weren't hurt, you can still have empathy for them. But here's the deal. So if you ever find out about any program that's like this in your area, I would suggest calling and finding out how you can help. So even just packing those little bags for their ministry helps them. So even just getting a few of your guy and girlfriends out and, call them up and be like, hey, can we help y'all like pack things up for one of your ministry nights or write letters or whatever. So yeah. Trying to read some of these comments here. Chris, yes, it's so much with the pimp who keeps us women in bondage. Yeah. So yeah, yay knitting board. Bridget says, just show God's love and he'll do the rest. That's right. So, did I miss anything? As far as agenda goes, but we will be going to some of the safe houses and, just hanging out with some of the ladies. I think we're going to be helping them with like housework and yard work kind of thing, like cleaning and stuff. So that's another way that you can help or whatnot. Now, of course, that would be like a highly safe area and they want to make sure that someone's very well vetted before going in there. But we will be able to stay with them. So anyway, if you could pray for our safety, pray for the ladies and gentlemen we'll run into and the pimps and as well, and pray for our time with them. And that we would be able to teach them and love them. I mean, like Robin and I aren't going to be cleaning. Hopefully we will get to like sit down with them because they're going to be just milling out, hanging around the house. But we have like 19 people in our group. Surely, truly, there is not, this house is going to get clean like that. So apparently it's one of the largest houses. So, 19 of us is obviously they're okay with that many people coming over because I think we're also going to be doing yard work outside too. So anyway, thank you so much. It doesn't look like I have as many people on live anymore, but I can't ever tell with these numbers anymore. So it says 12, but I know that's not right because last time it said that I actually had way more people than that. So anyway, Robin doesn't want to be on camera, but I'll let her say bye.
Bye.
I don't know if you could hear her, but y'all tell Robin bye. Give her some hearts. Maybe she'll join me on our broadcast if you wish her into. So anyway, thank you all so much. If you are interested to find out more, please check back. I'm going to go find the link and then paste it in here. And then you can find out more. I actually have another video that has the purchase thing on. If you look for, there's a playlist now for the Pink Ministry, Pink Missions. And there's a big heart and it's kind of a pink screen. So if you'll click on that, I actually show the videos and it actually has the link. So go there. Go to the Good Knit Kisses page, click on Good Knit Kisses if you're not there from this video, and then click on videos, which is in the left side of your screen, and then go scroll down to playlists. If you scroll down, you're going to see Pink Missions, and you'll see the playlist for Pink Missions, and click on the one that has a big pink heart. Anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. Please be praying for us. Love you guys. Love someone in the right way, and they will spread it out and let it grow. So, bye. Bye, y'all.